Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, I say welcome, and if you have been here before, thank you for returning. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to cut this top with a dress sleeve and 3-layered flare. So I am going to show you how to cut it in just few minutes. If you are interested, let us get into the video. So I'm working with this net material. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is to fold my fabric into two, and when I do that, I'll make sure that the space of my folding can accommodate the largest body circumference, which is the hip. We are not working with a gown, right? But we needed our hip measurement plus extra allowance for stitching. Okay, so after folding it in that manner that you can easily measure your hip, your bust, and other body measurements, and you still have allowance to accommodate your stitching allowance. Okay, so after doing that, the next thing you have to do now is to measure the length of your top. So I'm measuring from the down part. I place the length of my top on the hem of the lace, and then I lift my tape up like this. So I'm working with top length of 25, so I'll be adding just half an inch to it because I'll be using the factory edge of this net. Okay, so I'll just mark that starting line into a straight line like you see me doing right here. The next thing for us to do is to mark all our points from the shoulder. So our starting line is going to serve as our shoulder line. I'm going to be coming down from that shoulder line to my nipple point, that is the bust point. Then from there I will mark all necessary points, the waist and then the hip. Meanwhile, we're not going to be needing our waist measurement, but just for indication. Okay, so I'll mark the bust point, I'll mark the waistline into a straight line. Then I'm going to step up from my bust point by 2 inches. That is just to indicate where my armhole length will be. So you could know how to get your armhole length by just stepping up by 2 inches from your bust point. Then up there from the shoulder line, you just mark 1 inch downward for your shoulder slope. Then we'll go to the folded edge. From the folded edge down to the other side, you mark your shoulder divided by 2, and then you connect your shoulder slope. So now we have the exact armhole, which is 8 inches for this person. Then I'm going to just mark exact same that I have on my shoulder on that armhole line, just to have an equal straight line marking. Okay, so we just connect that straight down. The next thing for us to do now is to move to our armhole and get the midpoint of the armhole, just to create our armhole curve. Now I'm going to step in by half an inch to create the curve effectively. Then I'm going to grab my pattern master and connect my armhole curve like you see me doing. I'm going to connect it to the shoulder slope and to that half an inch. So before we proceed with the curving, we are going to go to our bust point and divide your bust by 4. And meanwhile, you're not dividing exactly your bust because this blouse is a free blouse. So you're adding additional 2 inches to your bust. Let's say the bust I'm working with is 42 initially. So I'll be adding 2 inches to it. That is 4 inches. So we have 44 inches rather. So 44 inches divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch sewing allowance. I hope you get that, because it is a free blouse. So 44 divided by 4 give us 11, and I'm going to be adding 1 inch to it, both on my nipple point and on my armhole. I'm going to move to the hem of the blouse. Then you are going to divide your hip plus 2 inches. Now the hip I'm working with is 43, so 43 plus 2 gives us 45. 45 divided by 4, then plus 1 inch sewing allowance. I'll connect it straight to my bust line. Okay, so after we might have done that, the next thing for us to do now is to move back to our upper bodies and connect our armhole curve, because we have gotten the quarter of our bust, so it is easier for us to complete the armhole curve. So from the half inch that you're stepping with, connect to the bust divided by 4 and give it a good J curve. After you might have done that, from the neck area, you are going to mark your neck width. I'm working with neck width of 3.5 because this person is a kind of fat person, and then I'm going down by 3 inches for the neck depth for the front. So I have 3.5 by 3 inches for the front, and for the neck back neckline, I'm going to be stepping down by 1 inch. So that gives me 3.5 width and then 1 inch height for the back neckline. Now that we are done with that, we are going to connect our shoulder to our neck, shoulder slope to your neck area, and don't forget to add your half an inch stitching allowance to join it to each shoulder. So we are going to cut all round from the back neckline. Don't make the mistake of cutting the front neckline first, because you are still going to use the same thing to cut the back. Okay, so I'll just follow it and cut it through. After I might have done that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to fold my fabric into 2 to accommodate my back piece. Then I'm going to be placing the front pattern on it. I'm going to be cutting exactly what I have, but I'm going to be leaving 1 inch zipper allowance at the back because I'm going to be adding a short zip at the back. Okay, so after I might have done with the cutting, I'm going to slit open the back. We are going to be attaching our zipper, so it will definitely have to be open. Then I'm going to give it a short curve just to avoid bulge at the back. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut my front neckline. So we are done cutting the bodies, the front and the back. We are going to move next to our sleeve. Now for this sleeve, I'm working with this Adire fabric, and Adire fabric has a way of being very funny that you may not necessarily know the right from the front, so be careful. The first thing I'm going to be doing is to fold the fabric into 4. That is, on fold like this, I have 2 sleeves folded together. I hope you get that. Make sure that it can accommodate half of your armhole and extra 2 inches in case your round sleeve is bigger than half of your armhole. It's possible. So after getting the length of the sleeve, I'm working from the shoulder to the elbow for this person. I'm going to step down by 5 inches. This 5 inches is constant for me, but you could calculate the cap height of your customer. So on that line where you step down by 5 inches, you're going to mark half of your armhole. Half of the armhole I'm working with is 8 inches, so I'm going to mark it, and then I will create my S curve for this freehand cutting. Okay, I have a detailed tutorial on my channel where I talked about how to cut a basic sleeve, so you could check that if you don't know how to create this S curve. It's very easy. So I'm going to blend it in and check if it accommodates my armhole that I have on the sleeve. So I'm going to step down by 2 inches from that 5 inches, and I'm going to mark my biceps divided by 2 plus extra 1 inch. And then on the hem of it, I'm going to mark my round elbow, which is, I'm working with 13 inches for this person, and 13 inches divided by 2, 6.5 plus extra 1 inch. So I'm going to be marking it and connect it like you see me doing upward. So it's not going to be a kind of straight connect. Just cut it out after creating the curve. So my sleeve is ready. I have the 2 pieces together. Don't forget to mark the right side and the wrong side so that you don't get confused. Now the next thing for us to do is to cut our flare. Mind you, I have a detailed tutorial on this channel too for you to know how to cut your full flare. So we are cutting a 360-degree flare, so you can check my channel for the video. But what I did was to mark my round elbow. I made use of 1.5 on that elbow area, and I marked the length of my flare, so I cut it out. This is the longest of the flare. It is 3 layers, so you have to make sure that you have like 2 inches different from the first step to the second and to the third. So I will mark the same 1.5 around that elbow area, and from there I am going to mark the length of this second sleeve. So the first sleeve is 9 inches. Definitely the second sleeve is going to be something around 7 inches, and the next one is going to be around 5 inches. So that is like 2 inches different from each other, so that you can see the effect of your steps. Okay, so I'm going to be marking the same 1.5 to create my curve on the last step, which is the third layer of my flare, and then I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so now all the 3 layers of our flare for the 2 sleeves are ready, because I cut it 2 all together. So I'm going to be placing each flare together from the biggest to the bigger and then to the big. So the big is going to be on top and the biggest will be below. So that is what we have. You can see that after cutting it, I noticed that the last one was not even, it's a bit close to the bigger one. So I'm going to trim it around like 1 inch round, so that I will have my 2 inches different. Okay, so I'm going to head to the sewing machine to join the sleeve and the bodice together. So guys, let us move to the sewing part. Let's move to the sewing part of this beautiful top. Okay, and mind you, what you have to do is that this particular flare, I'm not going to be using bias taping. I'm going to be folding the hem of it. Guys, please subscribe to my channel if this video has been helpful so far. Now let's move to the sewing. I've gone ahead to cut lining of the camera, and I have used it to turn the net. Can you see that? I have turned it, and I make sure that my lining is 2 inches shorter, because the top, we are not turning the down part. Okay, so guys, when you want to turn the hem of your flare, start from the stretchy part. You can see the way I'm pulling it, it is stretchy. With that, when you want to finish the joining together, it will be easier to pull it through. Just fold it tinily and you will, it's not easy, but it is good. So let's move to the sleeve. Now I have sewn the sleeve, and I think turning the hem instead of bias taping is beautiful and mature. So this is what we have eventually. Now we are going to move to the aspect of shaping. I'm going to be folding the front panel on the back panel, and I'm going to be sewing the zipper area. So I have done that, and I have also shaped the bodies. I have joined the side with my 1 inch seam allowance that I added earlier. Now this is what we have. The top is really coming out well. Okay, so we are going to move to the other part of it, which is to join the shoulder. I'm going to be joining the shoulder and at the same time attach my sleeve, and I'm going to come back to show you the output of our top. Yeah, wow, this is what we have eventually, and I think I love what I'm seeing. It's just that I'm not a fan of black material. I would have loved to make this type of blouse for myself. So this is what we have eventually, guys. If this video has been helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Don't forget to share and like. Bye bye, guys. See you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.